Chapter 7, 2 Visits. The next morning, I went with my uncle to see Rodrigo, the shopkeeper. He had a fine supermarket now, built of stone. He still lived in a house behind the shop, but now the house was 2 floors high and had a garden with a wall around it. He also had his own lorry. Lorry is a truck with his name on it, and there was a new car next to the shop. It was clear that Rodrigo had plenty of money now. Plenty of means lots of money. Inside the supermarket, there were all kinds of tins and packets. There were boxes of fresh fruit and vegetables outside the door. It was the biggest shop in the village, and it seemed to sell everything. Rodrigo was a big, heavy man. Heavy is kind of like fat, kind of. He was about 50 years old, and he wore a fine white suit and a white hat. When we arrived, he was unloading boxes of tins from the lorry. He was unloading boxes of cans from the truck. He was picking them up 3 at a time and taking them into the shop. He was big and fat, but he was still a very strong man. He was polite and friendly to my uncle and me. He knew I was a doctor. He invited us into his house. So the narrator is a grown-up. The narrator is an adult now, and he is visiting the town to learn more about Rafael. So Rodrigo invited us into his house. We sat and had coffee and talked about the changes in the village since my first visit as a boy. At last, I told him my ideas for helping Rafael. Then he wasn't so friendly. "A doctor?" he said. "He needs more than a doctor. I don't know why he's crazy. Nobody does. God knows I've helped him and his mother over the years. I've given them food when they were hungry and money when they needed it. His poor mother was a good and hard-working woman. Now she's dead. Rafael's mom is dead. It was a terrible thing to happen to her. Terrible. First, her young husband was killed by a shark. Then her only son went crazy and lived on the beach like an animal. Some people say that love made him mad. But you're an intelligent doctor. You're an intelligent man, doctor. You've studied at university. Does a young man of 18 years go mad for the love of a girl? What do you guys think? If you are 18 and you lose your girlfriend, do you go crazy? Or is it not so bad that you go crazy? A strong young man in good health? It's a stupid idea. I believe he wasn't in good health. I think he was ill. I don't know the problem exactly. You're the doctor. Help him. Make him better if you can. But look for facts. Don't listen to people's silly stories. So you don't think that your daughter Anita was the reason for his madness? I asked. Rodrigo didn't look at us. He looked at the wall for a long time. I don't have a daughter called Anita, he said at last. I had one many years ago, but she's dead. After that, he said nothing more about Rafael or Anita. Soon we thanked him and left. Later that morning, a man came to my uncle's house. He was small and thin. He stood at the back door with his hat in his hands. When my uncle saw him, he brought him inside. He found a chair for him and gave him a drink. "This is Luis Valdez," he said to me. "He's a farmer. He has a farm just outside the village to the east." We sat and talked about farms and the weather. Then the man began to ask me about Rafael. "Is it true, the story that I hear?" he asked. "Are you trying to save Rafael, the poor crazy boy?" "I'm a doctor," I answered, "and yes, I am interested in Rafael. I'm trying to find out why he went mad. Perhaps I can make him better, perhaps not." "My wife asked me to talk to you," he said. "She's Marta, Rodrigo's second daughter, and Anita's younger sister." So this guy is Luis. He is married to Anita's little sister. So Luis está casado con la hermanita de Anita y se llama Marta. But it must be a secret. She knows things that even her father, Rodrigo, doesn't know. She wants to help Rafael, but she doesn't want to make her father angry or unhappy after all these years. "Her secrets are safe with me," I said. "I don't want to make the people in the village unhappy. I only want to help Rafael. If she knows anything about Rafael, I'll be happy to talk to her." That evening, I went alone to Luis's house. Luis sent his children to bed, and Marta began to tell me her story.